All right, happy Wednesday, everyone. Today is November 30th, 2022. I hope everyone's Thanksgiving was a good one. So yeah, here's a quick update on AddPicto and what we've been working on. Just gonna share my screen. Great. So essentially what we've been working on is making enhancements to the infographic section, uh, and specifically the fill order and units. And I'll just quickly go over what that is. So on this side, we have in development, and on this side, we have the live version of AddPicto. So I'm just gonna pick the house, and I'm gonna pick the house here as well, so that we're the same. And let's say you want to do 2.5, and you're gonna do 2.5. So far, so good. Everything looks great. Now, the nuance is that if I were to change the direction, you can see that the direction of the order as well as the direction of the fill is the same. So if I were to do left, it goes from right to left. If I do up, it goes from bottom to top. If I go down, it's from top to bottom. And so now, but if I were to do the fill here, the order does not change. It's still going from top to bottom. It's just that the fill changes. Why is that something that we wanted to change? Well, let's use a different example. So I'm going to go to unique infographics, and I'm going to choose a bottle. And here, I'm just going to do the same thing, unique infographics, and I'm going to choose a bottle. Great. Now you can see that everything looks fine, and it makes sense. For a bottle, things fill from bottom to top. Now imagine that you did not want this thing ordered from bottom to top. You want it ordered from left to right. I'm going to do the same thing for this as well as here. And then I'm just going to insert and insert. And you could already see from the preview what's happening here. So because in the current live version, both the direction of the order and the fill, because they're tied to one and the same control, you end up with something like what you see on the right, which is the order is from left to right, but the fill is also from left to right, which when it comes to any kind of a vessel that's a bottle, glass, or whatever, it just doesn't make sense. Whereas on here, it makes a lot more sense because they are now decoupled. Some other things to know is just that in the order here, you'll see like 8 options, and you're thinking like, why do I need that many options? Well, so the idea was, so essentially, let's say you wanted to have, I don't know, like 10.5 bottles, and you wanted to do another 6 here, and let's make the same. So it's 10.5 and 6. Great. And so now you could do per icon of, let's say, 2. And again, I'm going to change this to 2 so that everything matches. Okay, looks good. Actually, you know what? Let me make this a little bit easier. What would be good? So, yeah, that's fine. I get. No, that's a little confusing. I'm just going to change this to 10.5. Yeah, it's going to be a little easier to see what I'm getting at. So, one thing to note is you could already see the difference. So if I were to, you'll see that there's like 2 options for each of the directions. And so the lighter color indicates where it's starting from, and the darker color indicates, you know, the order that it goes in. So what I mean by that is, actually, I'm going to change this default. I'm going to change this color to 0. Yoink. Oops. 0. Oh, okay, that doesn't apply there. Got it. Okay, so let me see if I could show this. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to fill or insert to replace it, and I'm going to do the same here. Maybe it'll be easier to show in a vertical. Yeah, I think that'd be easier to see. Yeah, I'm just going to change this to up, and then I'm going to change this to up, like so. Okay, cool. I'm just going to update this. And on here, I'm going to update this as well. Okay, great. So as I mentioned, in the ordering, there's 2 options, and I'm going to show you the difference So in this one, in the live version, you only have one way of ordering, which is from left to right. But let's say you do not want that. You want to actually have an order from right to left. Well, this would allow you to do that. So this one, great. Now I'm going to insert. So yeah, again, a lot of it is just the ordering allows you to have more control over of how you want to display your infographics. So now what we've done again is decouple the direction, the fill, with the direction of the order. On top of that, we also give you the option of the sequence of order for those directions. So again, if you're going right, you could start from the top, go to the bottom. You have another option where you're going to the right, but you start from the bottom, going to the top, and so forth and so forth. So that is the decoupling of the fill and order. So that's number one. The second is going to be on units. You'll see here, we have a separate thing called units, where here we just have, icons per icon. So let's say, I'm going to now use a different example of, yep, let's choose that. And I'm going to choose the same thing. Let's choose an icon. There we go. And I'm going to change this to 0 and 0 for now to have a, starting point, same defaults. Great. Oh, there's a bug. That's interesting. So I'm just going to change this to 1, change this to 1. Okay, and I'm also going to make this into a pie. I'm going to make this into a pie. Great. So let's say you want to illustrate that out of a total of, I don't know, 20, that, let me get the little bullet thing, that, I don't know, like 5 is blue, and that 2 is orange, and that, I don't know, like 1 is red. Okay. So let's say that's pretty simple. You could say like, cool, well, I'm going to enter the default as 20. I'm going to enter the blue as 5. I'm going to enter the orange as 2. And I'm going to enter the red as 1. Easy peasy, right? But what if they say like, no, we want to show that as the circle, right? So that one icon is 20. So now you have to then think about, oh, shoot. Okay, well, then if that is the case, so the total value of this one icon, I'm going to set that as default, is 20. So if I want to do 5, that's what, 0.25? And then what, it's 2, so it'd be what, 2 divided by 20? So as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out the math of what the percentage of these things would be, which, that seems like a lot of work, especially if you have like some random number, like, oh, I don't know, 276 or something like that. Now you have to figure out what the, what is 5 divided by 276, all this stuff. Seems like a lot of pain in the butt. Well, so one thing is that the units will help. So what this units does is allows you to control what each of these icons represents. So for the current, we've used like, these individual things as one, meaning each representation, it represents 1 unit. Now I could change this from 1 to 276. Okay, I'm gonna, oh, I know why. It's because I want this to be a default color. Yeah, let's choose a default color. There we go. And now I can say like, great, I want blue to be 5. I want orange to be 2. And I want red to be 1. Suddenly you change the number. Let's say you want this to be, oh, I don't know, like 1, 2, 4, and 25, 4, and I don't know, 18, right? Now you don't have to do the math again of trying to figure out what is 124 divided by 276. Instead, you could just enter in the number here, 124, 24, 24, and 18, like so. So it's a lot easier to enter in values this way by having a units defined rather than having to try to do the math yourself. And so that was the reasoning why we wanted to separate out units as a separate component. And that's, yeah, so those are all of the enhancements. So again, the enhancements are fill. You can see that the fill has now changed to represent the actual direction and so forth. But more importantly, fill is decoupled from order, whereas before they were one and the same. And secondly, we've introduced this concept of a unit so that you could do easier things like representing things like this, so that you don't have to do math, because who wants to do math? And that is my updates. I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.